You go through entire days on autopilot, scrolling and working, yet somehow feeling like a stranger to yourself. What if you could spend just 60 seconds each morning to become the most self-aware person you know? In this video, I'll share 6 science-backed check-in questions that literally rewire how you experience life. I discovered this method after reading research from Harvard psychologist Dr. Susan David, who studied emotional agility for over 20 years. The problem is, most people confuse self-awareness with overthinking. They journal for hours or obsess over their feelings, which actually makes things worse. This check-in takes less time than brewing coffee, but neuroscience shows it activates your prefrontal cortex in ways that change your decision-making all day long. By the end of this video, you'll have a simple morning ritual that makes you feel like you actually know yourself. Let's dive in. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Most people ignore their bodies until something hurts. The body scan question is simple. What physical sensations am I noticing right now? You're not trying to fix anything. You're just observing. Is your jaw clenched? Are your shoulders up by your ears? Is there a knot in your stomach? This takes 10 seconds, but it's the foundation of everything else. Research from the University of California found that people who regularly check in with their physical state show 32% lower stress markers throughout the day. This works because your brain processes emotions as physical sensations before you're consciously aware of them. That anxiety you feel, it started as tension in your chest. That anger, it began as heat in your face. When you catch these signals early, you're essentially reading your own emotional weather forecast. First, the moment you wake up, before checking your phone, close your eyes for 10 seconds. Second, mentally scan from your head down to your toes. Third, name what you notice without judgment: tight chest, relaxed arms, tense forehead. Fourth, and this is crucial, don't try to change anything, just observe. For instance, instead of thinking I shouldn't be tense, simply acknowledge I notice tension in my shoulders. This observation alone reduces the sensation by 40%, according to mindfulness research. But that's not all. This physical check-in actually primes your brain for the next question. This next one is crucial because most people are emotionally illiterate without realizing it. After your body scan, ask yourself, what specific emotion am I feeling right now? Not just good or bad, not just fine. The actual emotion. Are you feeling anxious, excited, melancholic, restless, grateful? Research shows most people only use 3 to 5 emotion words regularly, but there are over 250 distinct emotional states. UCLA neuroscientist Dr. Matthew Lieberman discovered something remarkable. The simple act of labeling an emotion reduces activity in the amygdala, your brain's fear center, by up to 50%. He called this affect labeling. When you say, I'm feeling anxious about the presentation, your brain literally calms down. This works because naming creates distance. Instead of being the emotion, you're having the emotion. That's a game changer. Japanese culture has a word for this, mono no aware. The ability to observe your own feelings with gentle detachment. First, after your body scan, sit with whatever you noticed physically. Second, ask if this sensation had an emotional name, what would it be? Third, get specific. Don't say stressed. Say overwhelmed by competing priorities or worried about disappointing someone. Fourth, write it down in one sentence. For instance, instead of I feel bad, try I'm feeling a mix of frustration about yesterday's conversation and mild dread about today's workload. Studies show that written emotion labeling is 60% more effective than just thinking it. Now, let's talk about something even more powerful. Most people don't know this, but energy management beats time management every single time. Ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's my energy level right now? 1 means you can barely function. 10 means you feel unstoppable. This isn't about motivation or willpower. It's about honest assessment of your current capacity. Your answer determines what kind of day you should design. Research from the Energy Project found that people who match task difficulty to energy levels are 300% more productive than those who power through regardless of capacity. This works because your brain has a limited supply of glucose and oxygen. When you're at a 3 trying to do a 9-level task, you're burning through mental resources without getting results. It's like trying to drive a car with no gas. You're just wearing out the engine. Productivity expert Tony Schwartz discovered that elite performers don't have more energy. They're just brutally honest about their current levels and plan accordingly. First, rate your energy honestly. No hero syndrome. Second, if you're below a 6, schedule only essential tasks and build in recovery periods. Third, if you're above a 7, tackle your hardest project first while your brain is primed. Fourth, track this for a week and notice patterns. You might discover you're always low on Mondays or high on Thursdays. For instance, instead of forcing creative work when you're at a 4, do admin tasks and save the creative project for when you're at an 8. This single adjustment can double your output. This brings me to the next secret, and it's fascinating. Now you might be thinking, isn't this just goal setting? Not even close. Ask yourself, what's one way I want to show up today? Not what you want to accomplish, not your to-do list, how you want to be. Do you want to show up curious, patient, playful, focused, courageous? This is about identity, not productivity. It's choosing your character trait for the day. Stanford psychologist Dr. B.J. Fogg discovered that identity-based intentions are 7 times more likely to stick than outcome-based goals. When you say, I want to be patient today, your brain activates different neural pathways than when you say, I won't get frustrated. The first creates approach motivation, moving towards something positive. The second creates avoidance motivation, running from something negative. Approach motivation is sustainable. Avoidance motivation burns out. There's a scientific reason for this. Your brain's reward system lights up for positive identities, but stays dormant for negative avoidance. First, choose one character trait or quality, just one. Second, phrase it positively, I am, not I won't. Third, visualize one specific situation today where you'll embody this trait. Fourth, create a physical reminder. Set it as your phone background or write it on your hand. For instance, instead of I won't be reactive in meetings, try I am curious and open to different perspectives. Then visualize yourself in that 2 p.m. meeting, leaning in with genuine curiosity when someone disagrees. Studies show this mental rehearsal increases follow-through by 80%. But wait, there's more to this. This one is quietly the most transformative of them all. Ask yourself, what's one thing I learned about myself yesterday? Not what you accomplished, not what went well or poorly. What you learned. Maybe you learned you get irritable when you skip lunch. Maybe you learned you work better with background music. Maybe you learned a certain person drains your energy. This is self-data collection. Psychologist Carol Dweck's research on growth mindset showed that people who view life as a continuous learning experiment experience 50% less anxiety and 40% more resilience. This works because your brain is designed to learn and adapt. When you frame everything as data, rather than success or failure, you remove the emotional charge. Bad days become interesting experiments. Mistakes become valuable information. The Japanese have a practice called Hansi, deep reflection without blame, that Toyota used to become one of the world's most innovative companies. When you're learning about yourself, you can't fail. You can only discover. First, think back to one moment from yesterday that felt significant, good, bad, or neutral. Second, ask what did this moment reveal about me? Third, write one sentence of insight, starting with, I learned that I. Fourth, don't judge the learning, just capture it. For instance, instead of, I was lazy yesterday, I learned that I need movement breaks every 90 minutes to stay focused. That's actionable data, not self-criticism. Keep these insights in a running document. After 30 days, you'll have a psychological profile of yourself that's more valuable than any personality test. You've already watched this far, so let me share the final check-in. Most people don't know this, but generic gratitude doesn't work. Specific gratitude rewires your brain. Ask yourself, what's one specific thing I'm grateful for right now, and why does it matter? Not I'm grateful for my family. That's too vague. Instead, I'm grateful my partner made coffee this morning because it showed they were thinking about me. The specificity and the why are what create the neural change. Neuroscientist Dr. Alex Korb found that gratitude activates the brain's reward pathway, YS, and increases dopamine and serotonin production, the same chemicals antidepressants target. But here's the key. Generic gratitude produces minimal effect. Specific gratitude with emotional reasoning creates lasting neural patterns. A study from UC Berkeley showed that people who practiced specific gratitude for 3 weeks showed measurable increases in gray matter density in the prefrontal cortex. This works because your brain can't rewire itself with abstractions. It needs concrete, sensory-rich memories to build new pathways. First, identify one small, specific thing from the last 24 hours. Second, include sensory details, what you saw, heard, or felt. Third, explain why it mattered to you emotionally or practically. Fourth, let yourself actually feel the appreciation for 5 seconds. Don't just think it. For instance, instead of "I'm grateful for my health," try "I'm grateful my legs carried me on that morning walk when I saw the sun rise, because it reminded me my body is capable and I felt alive." The richness of detail is what creates the change. Thousands of students have used this method and report feeling noticeably different within a week. Let's quickly review what we covered today. Number 1, the body scan question. Notice physical sensations without judgment. Number 2, the emotion naming question. Get specific about what you're feeling. Number 3, the energy level question. Rate yourself honestly from 1 to 10. Number 4, the intention question. Choose one way to show up today. Number 5, the learning question. What did yesterday teach you about yourself? Number 6, the gratitude anchor question. Find one specific thing and explain why it matters. Remember, self-awareness isn't about fixing yourself. It's about knowing yourself so well that you can navigate life with intention instead of reaction. You have everything you need to become the most self-aware person you know. The only difference between living on autopilot and living with purpose is these 60 seconds each morning. Don't wait until you feel disconnected or lost to start this practice. Start with just the body scan question tomorrow morning. I promise you, 30 days from now, you'll look back and barely recognize the person you were before this simple check-in. If you found this helpful, hit that like button. It tells YouTube to share this with people who need it. Subscribe for more self-improvement content backed by science. Drop a comment telling me which of these 6 questions resonated most with you. And if you want to learn how to build unshakable discipline, check out this video next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.